not say like writing out a map for this, since I don't think. Do we have a map on here?
Yeah, you were able to get a map. It's a it's not an unknown route or an unknown location.
Okay. The way that we went, it was a little off course, right?
Not really. I mean, you.
Or did we just run into weather?
Yeah, I'd say you just ran into weather that because you lost the wind for a couple days and you hit a couple small storms.
Okay.
I'd say you took the basic course of just coming around the peninsula there.
Okay.
I'd say it was a pretty straight shot. It was just long distance and weather.
I was just rereading the quartermaster duties and orders. It's actually kind of funny. I like the last one. The only role more critical than yours is the cook, and they couldn't function without your help. So actually, no, you are the most important person that could. I feel like that's written on everybody's sheet. So my job is basically my job. Keep everyone from spending money.
No, just make sure they spend it responsibly.
Who is our cook?
I don't think you actually had a designated cook.
I have the ability to make sandwiches. That is the extent of my power.
I don't think anybody in the party actually has like cooking tool proficiency, so you've been winging it.
I just put potato and meat in here and I heat it up.
Is our librarian?
That's what he was just saying, is that he doesn't.
No, I'm sorry. I meant the.
Oh, you mean Sierra's teacher?
I mean, what's her face? Yeah.
Miss Wasanthi, what can you do?
I don't believe she knows how. I want to say she has servants for that, but I will double check her.
I have an herbalism kit, so arguably, I can make everyone high. Does that count?
No. Yeah, no, she is not a cook. I have given them the customary 15 minutes. So, I guess, once again, it's just you two.
Me?
I believe you said you wanted to do the garrison first.
Yep.
Well, on your way to the garrison, I will need to roll a percentile. Would you guys prefer high or low?
I like 4.
It's a percentile, so 4.
I guess it's high then.
I'd say 4 would be low at that point.
Well, I was thinking like if you look at it on a D6, then it would be high.
Oh yes, but as I said, I'm rolling a percentile, so that's a D100.
I said my 2 favorite numbers are 4 and 45, so that's still the end 50. So
What?
I go low.
Let's go with low then.
Okay, lower third. Here we go. All right.
Fuck yeah! If that's a bad thing, I don't know. Either way. I feel like if you actually roll 4, we should get something.
Okay. If I had rolled a 4, you would have gotten something, but I didn't, so.
And then it turns out a demon comes up and eats us.
We're on land. That shouldn't happen.
Alright. So, you approach the district garrison, which I believe is located where? That's number 4 on the map. So that is located... It's going to take you a little bit of time to get there. It's located on the other side of the waterway, so you kind of have to hike around town, but not that big a deal.
Okay.
Given the distance... Probably 15-20 minutes travel time,
That's not bad.
because it's not that big a town. So making your way around, you get a general feel for the location, despite in a stark contrast to what you saw yesterday, during the festivities. You're seeing a lot of sick, and meandering individuals squatting in alleys or under various overhangs, hanging out in the mud. Those who are not sick seem to be trying their best to avoid acknowledging the sick's existence.
Okay.
They seem to be scratching, and their faces seem to be red and inflamed, especially around the eyes.
Can I make...
And the smells of swamp are much more obvious than they were before.
Okay. May I make a medicine roll to determine how... Well, kind of like a cursory identification and determination of what am I breaking on? I just haven't had the term. It's contagion.
Yeah.
Try to judge.
By all means, yeah, you can make a medicine roll.
I mean, not that I can get sick. I say that like it's arrogant, but no, literally I can't get sick. 22.
That's actually pretty good.
Okay.
And Slendermans, we could choose it.
Ooh.
You recognize it as... You haven't seen it in this, like this before, but you're inclined to say it is a variant of a illness that you've read about and possibly encountered in your travels, known as sight rot.
Oof.
It's a painful infection causing bleeding from the eyes and eventual blindness. Usually brought on by contaminated water.
Okay, so nothing that would get us specifically, unless we drink all the stuff.
Look, having seen enough of the town as you have, you're inclined to say that it's either because the town is built and has become a swamp after the God King smited it, or it could be from the poisonous toxic waste billowing out of the alchemist quarter.
Fuck that guy.
You also are spotting several individuals who may also be suffering from something known as sewer plague.
Okay.
Which is a broad category of illnesses that one is generally exposed to when living in toxic environments.
Gotcha.
So, if you had to hazard a guess, it's again could be the water, could be the air. Prolonged exposure to the air, again from the toxic runoff from the alchemist quarter. It's like short-term exposure, you're probably fine, but the longer you guys stay in town, the more at risk you will be. I mean, obviously not you, but the rest of your party that actually potentially has to worry about such things.
Yeah. I honestly forgot that I was immune until you mentioned diseases were around.
That's a good question. I don't remember how to do the diseases.
Well, that's because normally it's not an issue. Okay. Making your way to the garrison, you find yourself standing before. You find yourself standing before a 3-story stone building.
Yeah, 3 stories. Oh, you're reading. Okay.
Several, people milling about both inside and out. Most of them appear to be on the younger side than you would expect.
Oh.
And there is a large gallows erected in the firmest part of the mud just outside the building. Judging from the conditions of the ropes and the like, you would incline to say that it sees frequent use, and probably has been used in the last couple of days, which tracks with what you were told about what happened to the suspected murderer.
Gotcha. Okay. The crowd outside the building.
And the guards, milling around just outside,
So it's not like we're being blocked off or anything.
No. It looks like that you'd have to weave your way through, possibly bump a few people, but you can get inside. It's just
okay.
making your way inside. You find yourself in very crowded conditions that makes, especially for Kyoki, feels more akin to a prison than a barracks. most of the individuals, do not seem to be, despite being dressed in the guard livery, do not seem to be actually doing guard duties. They just seem to be milling about. A few are even drinking. On the far side is a what probably would pass for the equivalent of a sergeant's desk.
Gotcha.
A individual, leaning back with a, seems to be relaxing against the wall with a book over their face.
So my first thought was, how cute would it be if I would have Usara ask the first questions?
You, NPC, go do the adventure. We'll wait.
Okay. See, was it Jute is the person we were looking for?
In theory, Juice is the person you're looking for.
Okay. This is a guard's house. Okay. So I'll walk over to the to the person at the desk. Does he look particularly busy?
Again, he's kind of got his chair tipped back against the wall and book over their face. Given your passive perception, you hear deep breathing that implies possibly napping or attempting to nap.
I'll knock on the table.
Sit up with a jolt. It's like, what? Who's it? What? Oh, what do you want?
Looking for Guardsman Jute. I figured that one such as yourself would have a much better idea than me.
Jute looks around and just shouts, "Hey, anybody seen Jute?" Another voice, like halfway out there. "She's out on patrol. You know when she'll be back? Hell if I know. A few hours." You'll just take gesture like, there you go. Anything else I can help you with?
Well, that wasn't very useful. Do you know their patrol route?
They don't really have patrol routes. They just kind of wander. Usually wherever the coin's the best. You're looking to get added to the route?
Yes.
Takes a few steps away.
Alright. What's your business? Where's it located? And what's its income?
Look at mostly you're gonna look at him and like, you would tell him that we're here for the murders.
Well, we don't exactly have a place of business. So I'm actually whispering. We don't exactly have a place of business.
Mm-hmm. As I don't, you can say you're whispering and not actually whispering.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're whispering.
Yeah, there you
We don't actually have a place of business, so I mean, the docks are going to be guarded anyway. So what do you want to tell them?
So they're asking what sort of business we're here for.
Business. Well, what business do we have? Because it looks like he interpreted your question as like adding on to the patrol as a place to be protected, yeah?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's me asked. Do you want to be added to the patrol? You said yes, and he responded, okay, what's your business? What's it worth? Where's it located?
Okay. You know, the shipping yard. That'd be wonderful. We have a ship. We'd like it to someone to come by and make sure the ship is still there.
It's like,
If possible.
takes out, another notebook from his desk, starts jotting it down. As he does so, he, air quotes, surreptitiously pushes a mug forward with his elbow as he's getting into writing position. Like, I see. Ship. Name and birth. Pushes the cup a little bit more forward with his elbow.
Asking for money. Okay.
You can interpret it that way. He's not saying anything.
As a criminal and a sketchy person, do I interpret this as kind of like someone trying to be kind of like...
You don't even need an insight roll. He is totally going, yeah, we will add you based on how much you're putting into this donation cup.
Okay.
He is totally asking for a bribe or, other assorted, funds.
Is it like a generic cup mug?
It's just like a basic, like, wooden, generic as fuck.
Are there any other similar generic as fuck cups around?
Like, they're in people's hands or on different desks. They're all over the place.
Okay. I will... Let's see. What would I roll to know what a good amount to put in would be?
I guess first determining what their usual wages would be to start.
I'll say, considering this place is kind of a really, sketchy, rundown place, and, this is basically a security racket. I mean, they're legit, but they're legit. This is like running like a legit security service in like the fucking slum part of LA.
I will take history or investigation.
History for 200, Alex.
I will stick with investigation if that's in the round.
And say investigation is intuiting it based on your surroundings. History would be more based on your own past dealings.
And last I check, I don't know anything about this place. So.
Well, I mean, it'd be more like history would be like, okay, normally when I've done a bribe in this situation in the past, it would be. Whereas investigation's like, okay, this place is a shithole, so he's probably not looking for more than.
I'll stick with investigation.
Okay.
See how well this goes.
Okay. Based on an investigation roll. And looking around, this place is a crummy shithole, so they're probably not exactly rolling in the coin, even the high district. So you probably could get away for a handful of gold pieces. And when I say handful, I mean somewhere between 3 and 20. And that's if you're being really generous. Like 3 to 10, 3 to 15 is probably closer to the actual expectation.
You said, and that's gold or silver?
Gold.
Okay.
Though you also know with that roll they probably would take silver, but you're definitely going to want to be on the upper end of that number if you're dropping silver.
Okay. Well, considering my character has no silver, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reach into my own bag and going to actual money and.
Oh, I see. He uses real money for bribes and fake money for carnival games.
Oh, I mean, they gave me fake shit at the carnival, so.
And they give you a very real wand that just can't be recharged.
Well, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and give, open up my thing, like, kind of yawn, like, kind of stretch my arm over top of the cup and just, like, have some coins fall out of my, like, clench, just, like, click, 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 click. Sorry, I just had to yawn for a moment.
Give me a sleight of hand. Let's see how skillful you actually are with this.
I mean, I was about to say, this is me trying to be like his, like, since he's trying to be subtle with the cup, I was trying to be subtle with, like,
Right, that's what the sleight of hand is for, is to see how subtle you are.
Yeah. It's hilariously enough not that good at this.
Also, recall you don't have levels in Rogue, and you're not that kind of thief, so.
Yeah. I mean, and I'll say, to be fair, it's kind of weird, because I was like, my fucking cleric is a better at sleight of hand. Alright. Okay. Fairly decent.
And doubles if you can figure out what to do with them. Okay, yeah.
Holy shit.
So, yeah, I mean, they're not as graceful as your wife would have been, but, that's, it doesn't, like, echo across the room that you're totally putting coins in the cup, so.
Tink, 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 tink.
And he seems to, nod in appreciation as he's, again, waiting for your ship name and birth.
Okay. Ship name is a fantastic question.
It's the same name it's always been. You guys still haven't changed it.
I know. I can't remember if we call it the Sea Ghost or the Brigantine.
The Brigantine is the class. Sea Ghost is the name.
Okay. Okay. I would like to put it down as the Sea Ghost, coast to coast.
So they're going to be looking for a ship that doesn't exist. Got it.
The Sea Ghost in parentheses, coast to coast.
Well, the coast to coast is implied. I mean, it literally goes from coast to coast. You just did.
Exactly. Ours actually makes it, whereas other people's normally don't.
Ah, the Sea Ghost. Haven't had them in a while. Lousy tippers, the Sea Ghost.
Yes, they're under new management.
I see. Mutiny?
What do we call it? We made them an offer that they didn't get a chance to refuse.
Buyout. Got it. Heavily implied air quotes on buyout.
Yeah.
Yes. They are retired. But do not worry. Do not worry. We actually pay our debts.
Well, lucky for you, the ship quarter was due for a patrol upgrade anyway. So we can probably have people through there every few hours.
We would like the gentleman who we just asked about to come through, if possible.
I can let him know there. I can let her know you have the request when she comes through. But these patrols are generally just assigned by whoever's on shift at the time the rotation comes through.
I'll flick another 2 gold coins in the cup.
I'll pass the message along to her when she comes in. Probably going to be several hours though.
So when they do these patrols, you have no way of calling them in.
Don't usually need to. It's an 8-hour shift. You do your route, you come in, clock out. I mean, if it's if something really desperate comes up, we can send a runner, but that's usually town burning level emergency.
I'll look over. I'll look over to. I'll look over to Farron. Like,
We don't really keep track of where they are on their at any given time on their route, so they, she could be anywhere.
Look over at Farron and be like, it was like, will we claim this as an emergency or could we come back to this?
Oh. There are other options.
Okay.
Everyone is seriously thinking about swapping out that bribe.
With another bribe.
It's just swapping out the bribe.
Nah, Farron will just be disapproving of this guy. But yeah, we have some other options.
No. Thank you, must say thank you for your time. And must say when she comes through, if you, where would we, and must say when is her 8-hour shift in?
Not my job to know.
You don't know when she started?
I don't think records are too much of a concern here.
He gets it.
I mean, okay, I wasn't aware that, okay, so at some point her 8-hour shift started, and when she comes back is when we know that her 8-hour shift is over.
I'm not the one who's required to keep hours for purposes of paycheck, so.
Okay.
I show up. I make sure these guys don't burn the place down, and I deal with people looking for legal resources such as yourselves.
Okay. Okay then.
Okay.
Okay then.
I will excuse myself, and the people that are around here, I would like to. Am I proficient in that? I didn't think I was proficient in that. Yeah, I'm not proficient in that. Okay. I would like to use a charisma-based investigation, unless anything else is more appropriate, to basically ask around to see if I can find what is it, Jute, right?
Mm-hmm.
What Jute's preferences for places are, because I'm figuring if Jute's been on the beat for a while and they don't really have what your plotted out area is, that she'd probably have places she fancies and she'd go to on.
Well, it's less that it's the again, you get a when you come in. It's like, okay, this patrol, this region is up next in the rotation. So when you come on shift, you get assigned.
Okay. So that wasn't in quotes. They actually get assigned a region and they don't just freelance around.
Well, it was kind of half in quotes because the implication was they might, there might be some preferential treatment based on favoritism.
Okay.
But the way he phrased it was, again, they come in and it's like, okay, your shift started at this point. This sector is what's up for patrol at the start of your shift. So this is where you're assigned.
Okay. Because basically, I'm trying to talk to people to figure out what area she'd likely be in.
You may attempt a charisma-based investigation to try and gather information on her. Okay. For the most part, what's your approach on this? I understand what you're after, but yeah, like how are you approaching it?
Well, actually, given the lawlessness of this place,
It's not lawless. It certainly has laws for a price.
okay. Okay. My approach would be oh no, if I do that, other people might want in. My approach would be as someone who has heard of Jute's reputation as us trying to find her.
Alright, for the most part, the guards are reasonably friendly and willing to talk to you. A couple of them, again, give you the mug treatment, but for the most part, they're reasonably willing to talk about one of their own. You get the sense that most of them do not like Jute. Seeing her as a little bit of a Boy Scout and a goody two-shoes. It doesn't really, one of the, the sore thumbs that doesn't really fit with the way they do things here. She, doesn't seem, always, uptight, trying to actually do the job versus, clocking in.
Sounds like then it would be nice to have a third party not really attached to the area bump into her then, wouldn't it?
No, I wouldn't know. If that, I mean, obviously that'd be above my pay grade. I mean, obviously we don't condone that kind of thing. And, being the law and all, but just wish, she'd, relax a little bit. Just go with the flow. Stop causing all these headaches with, by, making complaints and filing reports and shit.
Stop making excuses.
Yeah. I'm sure that could be arranged if you could point me in the general direction.
Again, not really, we don't really pay attention to where each other's going. We just, get our assignment from the clerk, head out, take the scenic route, and come back in, collect our check for the day.
I take it everyone's tread here is the same? Like, they're in a uniform?
I mean, there are some variations based on gait and, shoe size and that kind of thing, but yeah, it's a very shabby uniform, but it is roughly a uniform.
Well, I was thinking about it, like, there'd be no real way for me to start, like, a track or anything, because all the boot treads would look the same.
Without having an example to start from, like, if you had interacted with her before, or seen her tracks before, you probably could make an attempt, but yeah, with nothing to go on, yeah.
Okay, and for what the clerk at the desk said, they don't really...
He said he didn't track it, and the other guards you talked to said they don't track each other's movements. It was, again, specifically mentioned there's a one specific individual who makes the assignments when you clock in. And at this point, you've probably been here long enough to see a couple individuals coming on shift. And again, it really much does seem to be like guy comes in, goes over to a different desk. Guy kind of, makes a note and just like hands them like a rattles off a district and they just wander off.
Okay, so it's not even a watch captain; it's just another position.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if we
this whole place seems to be very haphazard.
Yeah, if we've seen where they're getting their assignments from, then I'm going to head over there. Hello.
Older dwarven individual kind of like half looks up to you and acknowledges you with a grunt.
Is there an empty mug on his desk?
No. There's a flagon, or tankard type thing on his desk that he is currently taking a deep swig from.
Okay. Is there an empty mug on a nearby desk?
Perception check? You see a few. Some, are like cracked and chipped and are being used as like pencil holders or quill holder type things. But there are a couple.
I'll swipe one that looks like you'd hold some liquid.
Right.
I'll set it. I'll set it on the desk and crack open my medical box to withdraw a small flask and pour some of its liquid into the cup. It's gonna be since I have options. It'll be how is a dwarf? What do you think, whiskey or liquor? Some dwarves like light. I'll do whiskey. And I'll upward and move the cup towards some as I say. I think you could help me.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for what area Jute was assigned earlier.
Hmm. What's it to you? One who has heard of her reputation. I'm hoping that that cup right there will reinforce my value to you, and thus perhaps the information that I asked about. It doesn't say what quality the whiskey is, it just can produce alcohol, according to the medical box. He's a dwarf, we're trying to bribe him with booze. Not sure why you want to talk to Jute of all people. Take a sniff. Pain in my ass.
Oh, as I said, I'm aware of her reputation.
Now, if you're aware of her reputation, why would you want to speak to her?
Because that reputation is grading to the current, and I'll just make a general gesture towards the area, and I could help with that. If I were to make like a deception roll or something.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be a deception. Damn!
Nah. No stunt though. Oh yeah. He was in prison, that's not a lie.
I was in prison, I don't have to lie to the cops.
I didn't do nothing, guards.
See. New operation moving in, trying to grease the wheels, ingratiate themselves.
Something like that. It could certainly be very beneficial to both parties. Don't want one of such reputation putting a stain on our own plans, and it would be doing you a favor.
Well, favor's relative. There's a lot of hassle that would go involved if she was, shall we say, reassigned. Paperwork, got to inform the family.
Oh, well.
And honestly, not entirely sure what's in it for you for the purposes of coming to talk to us versus just, handling it.
Oh, sure. You mentioned reassignment. I was more thinking of...
There was a heavy air quote on the reassignment.
No, I get that. You mentioned reassignment. I was more thinking a exercise of persuasion.
Yeah. She's not exactly one that's known for being persuaded. That's part of why she has so many complaints against her from the other guards.
Yes, but you have not
Like talking to a brick wall, they say.
No, Jude hasn't encountered the likes of us.
Looks you up and she's seen some adventuring types before, I'm sure. You might come through here periodically.
Friend, and I'll be looking over at Kyoki. Would you mind smiling?
So is that like persuade?
What are you trying to accomplish with him doing that?
What I'm trying to accomplish is I want to demonstrate.
Are we good smiling or bad smiling?
I'm wanting to demonstrate to this dwarf the amount of intimidation and possibly other methodologies that we could bring to bear. And since Kyoki is generally described as being rather creepy, I thought that could help.
Okay. So he wants me to show him how terrifying I can be.
That's what it sounds like.
Well, it's more like a sense of like creepy or an easy intimidation. Because so far it's been demonstrated that I can talk to some degree. If I indicate someone in the group has a slightly different skill set, I'm trying to essentially demonstrate the fact that that we can bring different areas of persuasion to bear that people here might not be able to. Because clearly I haven't been convincing enough for him to actually give me the information yet. So I figure, persuasion by diverse skill sets could work. I was figuring maybe an intimidating smile.
I would say that sounds like intimidation.
Okay, cool. So, thankfully, I think I can pull this off without actually needing if I do. So, I don't really have a reason to use this, and I never actually get any excuse to use this. But if he wants to know exactly how frightening I am, intimidation. Surprisingly, not my highest score. But thankfully, we do that advantage, so there's that. But I'm going to lead. I'm going to lead with this. I'm going to lead with this.
Okay, that will give you advantage on the intimidation. as you pump your Reiatsu into this grin.
I just need to go a little dangerous.
I like you guys just have these gifts on hand. There's a beast.
Yeah, died in 9 hells, son. Alright, well. You certainly indicate you're a diverse skill set. Don't know if it'd be enough to affect her, but, you know. Certainly put the fear of the gods in me.
I'll like immediately close my eyes and just clap my hands and it's like wonderful, yay!
And
Also, if you could do me a favor and pretend that you didn't see this face.
Son, I don't want to have seen that face.
I like the way he works. I'll toss my coin.
Not one for subtlety, are you?
Well, I'll say, ever since we pulled up here, we haven't exactly seen much subtlety. I feel that everyone around here is either too broke or too dying to be subtle.
I'll, shoot, I don't... Being a subtle, I'm not sure how to be subtle about this. I mean...
Well, you just told me to give him a death glare. I didn't think we were kind of subtle anymore.
Perhaps then... we could know the region, then?
Well, I mean, I'm not supposed to be giving out that sort of information. You know, accountability and protections and all that.
I'll lean forward. Is there like an obvious like note sheet?
There's sheafs of paper, a couple equivalents of ye olde binders scattered about the desk, you know, all kind of haphazardly.
Okay, so nothing I could like just sleight of hand to me that would have the information.
Nothing that would obviously have the information, no. Based on what you saw when you were, you know, milling about talking to people, you are inclined to say the information you're seeking is probably in one of the leather-bound tome binder type books. There's 2 of those on his desk. There's, you know, one kind of off the, you know, kind of resting on the corner, and one kind of half buried under a stack of papers.
You said we've seen some people come in at this point. Would that let me know which book he was making notes in?
That's why it's one of those 2 books, because they look nearly identical. So, for what, with you milling around the room, doing the gather information, talking to people, you probably would not have. I don't believe you would have gotten a intense enough look on it at it based on your passives to, you know, memorize exactly which one it was.
Okay.
And this is why I keep track of your passives, folks.
Well, that's okay. You don't
It's like, he
need
sounded.
to tell us.
I would say, based on your passives, he didn't sound. He sounded. It wasn't like he was sounding like an outright no. It sounded. You're not sure if he was being hesitant or waiting for more. You're kind of unsure which category.
No, he didn't do the empty cup thing.
But he also doesn't have an empty cup on his desk, so.
Moment. Hopefully he doesn't require money, just things of value. So I would like to sleight of hand my resist cold vial onto his desk. Because I mean that should be worth at least a handful of gold.
Hey.
Fair and still lawful, which means that he wouldn't. It's like this is barter, not bribery at this point.
No, I've just never seen a potion used in a bribe before. Okay.
Well, consider how much they cost.
Yeah, I mean, I follow the logic. It's just not what I've normally.
Yeah, it's one of those Wild and City.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. I'm just like, again, it's not what I was. Okay.
I mean, if someone sees me do something, I mean, there's probably lots of people doing things at desks. So.
Okay, make me a persuasion at advantage.
Ah, persuasion. I am okay at that.
I got advantage. Yep, got that advantage there.
Oh yeah, right on.
No, he just rolled the exact same thing on both.
Yeah, that's kind of the only thing. The only upside to that is that if you roll doubles,
yeah, it's like,
when you roll twice, then it's like, yeah, just take this one.
I was like, obviously take the first one because it has doubles in it. You get
Yeah. Let me
well,
see. Is there any role play stunts I can add to this?
I can see if there might be something in the log. Where did I put that? And he seems to be, as he seems to be, he's like searching around on his desk, in the scattered papers and stuff. As he's doing so, he takes up the potion.
All right.
See with this library, you're trying to get this slide in. For some reason, that seems to be working.
I guess the value would be equal to the ingredients used.
And he's rifling around for a moment, before looking over at the corners, like and reaching out for the one that was, kind of half teetering on the edge of his desk.
That's the one I thought it was actually. Okay. I just can't take his book.
grabs it, starts like flipping through. Based on your passive, you'll note that he's got this is a very poorly kept record book by your standards. Very like half-assed. Like some of the notes are like written sideways. Just like wherever there's room on the page.
No.
Most of them are stained with like coffee or booze or you're not even sure you want to know. Gets to a page near the middle, but near the end of where they've got the written stuff, and looks at it and frowns, holding it in a way that you can kind of see. The page looks even more stained to the rest, like to the point where it looks like all the ink has like run. Maybe like the page was wet or something when he closed it and it just smudged everything.
Can I use a wisdom-based calligraphy roll to do Holmesian-style mental deductions to figure out what is written on that page?
Yes, but given what you're looking at, it will be a disadvantage.
Okay. Huh. I would have preferred that 20, but
Yeah, 14. You're not sure. I mean, it's all half-assed running together.
Well, perhaps.
It kind of looks like, your handwriting. If your handwriting had opened the Ark of the Covenant and was doing the face melting.
Maybe, no. Okay, no, that'll help me.
I thought you've seen Demon Script that was more legible.
Is there a problem?
Don't know if it was me or the guy who was on before me, but obviously the record's Fubar. Not the first time it happened. Probably won't be the last. All the water in the air or whatever. Terrible for the paper. And I don't know, maybe somebody spilled booze on it or something like that. I want to help you, man, but my youngin's, this looks like the kind of thing I find in my youngin's diaper.
Understandable. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, it takes slams the book, kind of shoves it off to the side of his desk again. Takes another swig and seems to get comfortable.
Okay. I'll look to Usara and Kyoki and indicate that I want to be heading towards the door. Well, if their records aren't any good, then I'll be saying this like when we're, out of general earshot. Then if Jude's reputation is that of a honorable, helpful person, I'm sure what we need to do then is simply ask around and find out what areas have been more recently uplifted.
As you were saying that, Kyoki?
Yes.
You feel somebody tugging on your sleeve?
turn and look.
Turn and glancing as a turning and glancing down, you'll see Isura kind of or Sura pulling on your sleeve a little bit, and as you look at her, she is holding up towards you the cup with your bribe in it.
That yeah, okay.
And inside and with the bribe is a crumpled up piece of paper.
Good girl.
I will read it.
Uncrumpling the paper, it looks like it is a torn page from the logbook.
Oh, that's nice.
It was in the GM. I had some rolls in the GM later when we were talking.
Okay. I was just trying to think. I thought there was only one logbook. Alright.
And your passive was not high enough to see what was going down.
But I guess the dwarf just kind of, didn't give a shit.
I just got back to my computer, so I just saw the scene.
Well, if Kyoki wishes to take that information and figure out what happened, by all means. That's it, because Kyoki did see something that might explain what happened. But yes, you have a torn page from the logbook that does seem to indicate that Officer Jute is currently most likely, given the length of their patrols and the fact that they cover multiple areas, because she is most likely in the low quarter, which is in the northwestern section of town. From what you saw on the way in, this mostly would consist of slum tenements, dubious taverns, rickety warehouses, hovel-crowded alleys, decommissioned ships that have been converted into buildings, and is also the most sunk portion of the town.
Okay. So interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Does she have? Is her intelligence score at least 8?
Yes.
Okay. So since her intelligence score is at least 8, whatever she's trying to tell me, I can completely and utterly understand.
Well, based on that, you will know she wasn't trying to tell you anything. She was making arcane gestures.
Oh.
Nice.
Let me double check.
The lessons are strong in this one.
Okay, yeah, with a passive investigation of 18, you get the impression that based on, let's see, what's your insight?
Insight is hilariously enough, a +2.
Okay. So between those two, mostly your investigation, you get the feeling that she may have done something before the guy went for the book. So she was trying to cover her tracks with, some kind of spell.
I'm going to look at
I say, because she can speak and communicate. She's just not saying anything. She's just trying to be subtle like you guys, but sucking at it to like hey, I stole a thing too.
I'm going to look at her, and I'm going to give her kind of like a gesture. That kind of is like, you're like the daughter. You're like the daughter, and I never got a chance to have. I'm gonna give her the "I'm so proud of you" like smile. It's like we're gonna find a place around here that doesn't smell like piss and death. I'm gonna get you waffles. Or we can go to the blacksmith and we can have a waffle iron crafted.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds too fancy for the likes of this area.
But a blacksmith or waffles?
Waffle irons.
2 pieces of metal that are weirdly shaped so that they make waffled foods when you press them together.
That's noble technology right there.
It's like, no. It was like, we don't know how to make smooth metal here. We don't know how to make metal with divots in it.
I don't know what raindrop Damascus is at all. I can't misshapen the metal intentionally.
Okay. As a man of partial honor,
Yeah, you gave her advantage to her sleight of hand with your talking and.
Oh, yeah, so no, it's fine. It was just like I was like, oh wait.
I will take the piece of paper and kind of put it underneath my gigantic sleeves.
I'm just putting the not GMP suite disclaimer out. Where it was like, no, I swear it was legit.
Well, I figured it was legit.
Trust me, she is positive with that chocolate system. I'm glad we have her with us.
Y'all are lucky Sierra picked Rogue for her last level. Making your way around to the low quarter.
Downtown.
I will need an investigation check. Skill at the attribute attached to that will be determined by how you wish to investigate to find this person, whether you wish to like talk to or just look around or.
I wanna talk to see and like where the most good deeds have been, since again the reputation is they go against the protection racket grain.
Okay, so you're gonna be making a charisma based one. Kyoki, are you gonna make a roll or just go with it, David?
Since he's doing that, I'm looking for goody two shoes, but I'm looking for shitty people to see where the path of the goody two shoes are.
Okay, so in your case, yeah. So it will also be a charisma-based investigation, but due to your background, you can do it at advantage. David, you will also be advantage because Sura will use her bonus action helpful.
Yes.
To soften people up by being cute.
Good. I was actually thinking about.
Yeah, charisma-based investigation. So instead of your intelligence bonus, it's your charisma bonus.
Okay.
And that's at advantage.
Okay.
What? Gather information is charisma and investigation.
I know. Okay. Now, this sounds amazing until I hear it. I'd be super pissed if they will turn. There we go.
You came close.
Woohoo! And it's not 666.
Okay.
Ooh, that baby. Combat. Is this exploration?
Yeah, I'll count this as exploration.
Or is it role?
No, I'll count it as exploration. This is more of an exploration scenario than it is a roleplay scenario.
I like to use speedy search. And with the flourish, because hopefully that actually gives us this pretty good. And also with the flourish, I might be a bit more memorable amongst these people.
Okay.
So move fast and
both of you will be directed towards the area that's roughly the transition between the slum tenements and the tavern sectors. Whereupon...
Good, so we're going to find ourselves.
You'll come across a younger woman that hard living and everything. It's kind of hard to gauge English, but you would probably put her in her mid to late 20s, dressed in even shabbier than the others' guard uniform. You get the impression that as part of their hazing, dislike of the fact that she's actually good at her job, actually trying to be a good cop. They've given her the shittier equipment. The people in the slums that you see, her interacting with, as you're coming up to her, she's just like, doing, talking to people as she's doing her patrol, seem to like her well enough, though. Even the criminal element seems to at least be like her enough to acknowledge her with a nod or a wave as she goes around, and she doesn't seem to be bothering them if they're not, you do see a few crimes in progress in the area, but they're like harmless victimless crimes. You got the jaywalkers, you got the people like open carrying booze type stuff that she seems to be ignoring. There just seems to be a general vibe of general vibe of friendly part of the neighborhood, and letting stuff slide as long as nobody's getting hurt.
Yeah. Okay.
Be right back, because apparently it is food. We'll just give you a few minutes to strategize.
So, Brian, I'm thinking we leave her over, we talk to her, and as a form of payment, we could totally go to an area where more of the shabby guards are, and pretend like we're bribing her for something, therefore increasing her reputation with them without her actually not tarnishing her own honor.
Assuming that her honor code allows her to be seen as someone who's, not a good joy.
True.
I'm enough for that idea. That's where this dog follows me everywhere.
What was that?
I swear this dog follows me everywhere.
Is he expecting food the entire time?
I'm dog fitting my home. Papa's is straight asleep. But I'm dog fitting my brother's dog. She's an Australian Shepherd. And like her goal in life is to follow you everywhere you go. No matter what you do. I go to the bathroom, she sits outside the door.
I'm just imagining you get on a plane, and then when it lands, you'll just find the dog in the lobby of the other airport waiting for you.
Honestly, probably would. I wouldn't be surprised if it actually tried to live on the street and come with me. From what I've noticed, they do not like having a master out of sight. She literally follows me everywhere. Oh, I sent you the email, by the way.
Yep, just noticed it, and I have it open in a new tab. I was looking through my inbox history earlier, and it just got to a point where it was like, yeah, I know you didn't show down that much, but we're not actually loading up the previous emails, so yeah, have fun with that. As a complete aside, have you heard about Velma being cancelled for the call the police move in the multiverse game.
Velma's special move in the new, WB Smash Brothers knockoff, the Multiversity, is she calls the cops. Like Scooby Doo.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a meme going around. I guess somebody did it on a stream or something, where she's fighting LeBron James because he's one of the from Space Jam. He's one of the characters. So she's using her move to call the cops on LeBron.
That is awesome.
And apparently they're getting all sorts of crap for it.
It's a video game, guys. Come on, it's a static move.
It doesn't matter who you use it on. She can call the cops on Batman just as easily.
Soups, no. I mean, come on now.
Yep. Okay, so I'm back. I have food. How do you wish to proceed?
And that's how we did it. Okay. The plan was to at first just wave her over to get her attention. Preferably in an area that does not have and this might be impossible, but not have a beggar, homeless level guy right next to us.
It's impossible to not have one nearby, but you can do it so they're several feet away.
Okay.
She'll be a little hesitant at first to, once she actually catches sight of you, because, a bunch of, reasonably decked out adventurers waving you over in this part of town. Little sus, potentially.
Oh, I guess Koki has visible weapons.
I mean, Koki's got visible weapons. You've still got, as far as I know, you still have your gear lock. It's just,
it's in my clothes.
And you got Ash still. No, wait, Ash was helping load the boat.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's just the two of you and Isura.
The girl's a threat!
But you guys are still clearly adventuring types in, the shit, slummy...
Oh, yeah, we're not from here.
Yeah, you clearly stick out, so she's hesitant, but she will make her way over... Yes? Is there a problem? Do you need... How can I help you?
I'm so glad you asked. There was a recent case you were involved in that we believe was hastily prosecuted, and I'm willing to bet you think it was hastily prosecuted as well.
Her eyes narrow slightly. It's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't be talking to strange people about this. I'm gonna...
I'll pick up Isura and kind of, hold her torso like this, like, look over at Isura. I think she called you strange. Are you strange?
Yes, but we are noble adventurers here. Here to rid your slumlike city of this terrible.
No, I don't want any trouble. Okay, the investigation's on the record closed. I get enough shit, we're just being involved. I mean, look where I get assigned.
Well, what are you get assigned?
You know, and I know that they took the wrong person on the trial. We were told that you were the only upstanding person in this entire town. And I'm sure you want this done just as much as we do.
She'll look at you skeptically for a moment. I need a persuasion check.
I'm good at those. I will do that. I will roll all of that. Then I say that and watch out, like possibly launch it. I've been rolling too good today. It has to fail at some point. Oh, never mind. It doesn't.
I see.
So here's her wedding ring, here's her social security number, here's her credit cards. Here's the form to become the beneficiary of her life insurance. No, seriously.
Oh, you're in a will.
Seriously, though. It's like, look. Yeah, I admit, the elements of the case are suspect as hell. No, I mean, that's what the adventure expects you to do, is roll persuasion. It was just kind of like, okay, that was ridiculous. I have a listed DC of 15.
Hell, technically, the only way I can fail that is if I crit fail, because, like, my persuasion is, it's a modifier of 13.
Yeah, that's why I was like, okay. It's like, this is an in-module interaction, so the DCs are not going to be that, but I'm not going to say anything until after he rolls. And it's like, yeah, you basically doubled the DC. All good. So yeah, she's, looking around, a little hesitant, seems nervous. It's like, look, I don't need to get in trouble with my superiors. I'm already in enough trouble with them, but yeah, I will admit the elements of the case don't add up.
Oh, in terms of you not getting in trouble with your superiors, would the illusion of going down to their level help you at all getting them off your back?
Probably not. Because, the second I actually do anything again, it'll undo the... I'm one of, 3 good cops in the city, so it's just... It is what it is. Good. What do you want to know?
So I just noticed a note there that I don't know whether that would have been fulfilled during the time pass or not. Whatever. I can do that later. Oh. Oh, glance over to Kyoki. And then back to her. Well, I do believe that there was inconsistencies such as the weapon in use and the timing. David is trying to remember exactly what our contact actually said. I'm looking through my notes and I don't see it noted down anywhere.
I don't know about weapon in use and timing, but I don't know if Jarm was the killer, whether he was working alone, or whether he just wasn't working alone. The morning after his execution, there was another killer. Same method, same style, same set dressing, but there wasn't any investigation. It was quickly buried because they want the people to think they got the guy.
Well, if there was no investigation, do you know where the killing was? So perhaps we could take a look.
I wasn't on. Yeah, I can take you there. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can take you there. I can also take you to the place where I found Jarm.
Would it not be safer for you to tell us? Because if you're seen with us, you could get in trouble.
It's on my route.
Okay.
I first caught Jarm when I caught Jarm. He was in the Alchemist Quarter area known as the Hemlock Pit. He was. The body was, same condition as all the others, but he was surprisingly cooperative and seemed shocked to be just as shocked to be there as I was to find him. Nobody was found. There was the body, but nobody was found at the next murder. Obviously.
Were the hooves there? Because I remember this is the
the chariot.
Yeah.
Again, same thing. Wheels and then just suddenly hooves for a moment, and then more wheels without hooves. So seemingly some kind of self-moving carriage that transmuted itself into some kind of hooved creature. Either a large mule or a small horse, for just long enough to make the attack. I don't know how you get your hands on it, but someone even took a casting of them for evidenciary purposes. I'm guessing they'd probably be in the guardhouse, assuming it hasn't been buried with the rest of it. In which case, not entirely sure where they'd be. Maybe maybe one of the benefactors. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, you know far more about this. This is officially a town, or so.
Technically, it's a port town.
Okay. You
Used to be a city.
You know more about this town than us. So there's some sort of patrons or benefactors. And I'll swing this around onto my shoulders.
Again, I don't want any trouble, but shortly before this started, like a few weeks, maybe a month before this started, one of the town councilors, Mr. Dory, started having a lot of closed-door meetings with the militia commanders. There was not a visit on the day that Yarm was executed, but I just assumed he was trying to get special dispensation, or possibly getting ignored for bringing stuff in, because he's big into shipping in the town. But again, he's been speaking with the commanders a lot.
Can I make a perception roll just to make sure that there's not anyone around that is being like spy-y or eavesdroppy?
By all means.
Oh. I don't see a thing. Everything's good.
We ain't found shit. Yeah, it looks good to you. People, you get the general vibe that people in this district try their best to at least look like they're not listening to each other.
Well,
whether they actually are, so they can rat each other out, debatable. But near as you can tell, you're good. So, yeah.
Mr. Dory.
Yeah, Mr. Dory. He runs business out of his warehouse over. She'll gesture in a direction. North of you guys, roughly where you had started. Over by Refrum's workshop.
Okay. Kathy or Sarah, do you have any questions?
You said do I have any questions?
Yeah. Do you or Sarah have any questions?
None at the moment. No, so I can't think of anything at the moment as far as the question.
Yep.
Okay.
Does Ash have anything to say?
Ash isn't in the scene, apparently.
Okay, no. So, well. Thank you very much for what you've been able to impart so far, and you said there were some places already on your route that you could lead us to.
Yeah. Both crimes took place in the Alchemist Quarter, which is where I'm heading next. So I can show you where things happened, though I'm not sure how useful that will be.
Okay.
Any particular one you want to start with?
The Hemlock Pit.
Mm-hmm.
And as we're traveling, I would like to reserve an action to take a hit for anti. We must keep our silent maneuvers.
Okay. So I guess that would be perception.
Well, that's performance. That's different. Hey, decent roll.
It's in the Alchemist Quarter, which is populated by dismantled buildings, smoky factories, and noxious laboratories. Strong runoff and foul vapors. All of it running off into the water.
Still unhealthy.
Okay, does not look like I actually have any notes on...
You find the conspiracy was here first, and there was nothing to determine.
Okay, so yeah, the Hemlock Pit is a large swath of mud. That's all I can get, all the information I've got on the book. So, so it is a large swath based on the picture on the map. It's a large swath of mud about the size of one of those like triangle parks you'd see down in the fan at major intersections.
Yeah.
Most people try to not go through it just because, well, it's mud. They try to stick to the boardwalks if they can.
Yes.
Whole area is covered with the fetid stench of alchemical waste and industry.
Sounds divine.
She'll gesture towards the middle of the patch. I'll be back here in a few minutes while I make my rounds, but I basically found him in the middle of that, just, holding the knife. The what was left of the body, at his feet. Feel free to poke around. I don't think you're going to find much, but... Assuming nobody else has anything for her, she'll give you a nod as she goes to make her rounds of the perimeter and whatnot, so she can join back up with you for the next scene.
Okay.
So yes, you've been left alone with a large ass mud pit. What would you like to do?
Okay. Are there people in the area like in the other
Yeah,
areas?
there are people. Carts on the boardwalk, people moving barrels of what you would presume would be alchemical stuff, people going from lab to lab. It's an active industrial equivalent of an industrial quarter. So far, nobody seems to be paying you any mind, unless you're actually in the way of their wagon or something. But
Okay.
they seem to be going about their jobs.
Well, I'll do the standard thing of asking around of, hey, what did you see around yada yada time, yada yada yada, yada yada.
Okay, so you're harassing the workers.
I'm harassing the workers, and I will be harassing them with money, which is not bribery, it's tips.
Okay, paying for tips will give you advantage.
Okay.
While he is doing that, Brian, is there anything you'd like to do?
Trying to Okay. I'm going to do similarly what he's doing. Just I'm gonna kind of make a lookout for, see if I can do like a lookout for any unsavory fellows who must either are criminals trying to blend in, or used to be criminals trying to go legit.
Okay.
Okay, this would be,
Again, gather information, which would be charisma investigation.
What did you do?
yeah.
You did a D10?
Where did you turn the room? Oh, ignore the 10. Okay, that was not supposed to be a thing.
And you're specifically asking about what they see that with the murder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So really, it's 10 and 15.
And Kyoki, you were specifically asking. or rather, seeking information on.
Seeking information from the criminals. I'll say, speaking of criminals as a criminal myself.
To learn, yeah.
To see if I can hey, just so you know, I'm not buzzed. But, if you're willing to, I must say, whereas, they just trying to make us little tips, I'm basically trying to, I'm actively attempting to bribe.
Okay, so you're both specifically trying to find out about the murder. Okay.
Yeah, I must say, I'm pretty much just like going and be like, hello, fellow criminal.
Not a lot of, obvious criminal element here in the industrial district.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to use, like, awesome criminal eye to kind of look for people who look like they used to be. Yeah.
So, that particular route doesn't turn up a lot, and what little information you do get regarding the murder is not very helpful, and, as it's basically stuff you've already been told. Most people that you're running into now were not there overnight, so anything you're getting is, hearsay type stuff. But one of the things you do get, however, is that if you are looking for information in this town, the person who's, there's a specific individual that seems to know a lot about the movers and shakers in the town. And that will be a gnome by the name of Groton Longflint. She describes herself as an adventurer, but she's mostly known around these parts as a burglar and pickpocket. And she does not come cheap. So,
how much is this kid worth? Okay,
Farron, going your route, that will cost you your 61 gold. Also, not really helpful. Again, most of the people weren't working the night shift, or they were just coming on when the guy was found and arrested. So they only have they can only tell you basically what Jute told you, or what they've gotten via hearsay that has been obviously blown out of proportion. Some people even believe that, there's a few people, almost conspiracy theorist level, that have actually heard about the follow-up murder that the cops tried to cover up and believe it is Yarm's ghost returned to, seek vengeance upon them. Or that he has made some kind of, pact with the underworld to come back, one of the betrayers to come back and continue his bloody massacre. Okay. But again, that's purely a conspiracy theory from only 2 or 3 individuals, because most people aren't even aware there was a murder after his execution.
Okay.
And most people don't want to stay and talk to you for very long because they are afraid of getting the wrath or getting docked by Mr. Dory for impeding his business. He seems to, you get the impression that he is probably one of the biggest movers and shakers, which, basically, considering you were told he was on the town council, is not surprising.
Okay.
And I have to correct Brian's spelling real fast, because otherwise that's the name that will be forever logged for this person, and when I use the correct name, you guys will have no idea who the fuck I'm talking about. This, I like yours better too, but that's not what it says. So, and I'm not in the mood to change it because I won't remember the change. Yeah. And that's why I fixed it.
I need to come up with a hobbit with that name.
Gretchen Longfoot.
Potatoes au gratin.
What is it? Be a French out of it.
Right.
Or we do potato bread and potato stew.
That probably takes you about half an hour, maybe 45 minutes,
Okay.
which brings you roughly into mid-afternoon at this point. So probably like 2, 3 o'clock ish.
I guess it's too much to say. I said his corpse is gone.
Yeah. The workers couldn't really tell me anything.
Okay.
Did you get anything?
I found out Marseille. They told me where one of the biggest movers and shakers was around here. Told me where we could find him. So we could follow up on that.
This mover and shaker. Do you know if they'd be even operating in the afternoon?
Well, with the people who I spoke to, I'd be surprised if they only operated during the day. Saint Massey seems to come off like the type who has his Massey, for lack of a better term, day job and his nighttime gig.
Well, it sounds like, at least with your expertise, maybe them with their nighttime gig would be certainly in your ballpark. But is the gig child friendly?
Well, I'm fairly certain that she'd be safe with us and she should be anywhere else. And if anything must and if something's going on that she had no business seeing, then they'll kill him.
Yay! Kill it! Kill it!
See, she gets it.
She's waving her wooden scimitar over her head.
See, diligence in your world.
Okay. Sounds like we have a plan. Now, considering how long it's been, I think it's time for us to get some food.
Do we want to eat here, or I said, do we want to eat here, or do we want to head back to ship?
Which place has a better cook?
That is an interesting question, since y'all don't have a cook, but this town is a shithole.
Yep, asking the tough questions here.
Where would be best muscle? Actually, I will ask. As the quartermaster, this would be my job. I would like to ask around. Does anyone know who? I'll say, anyone know who are good cooks here?
So you're asking for specifically a good cook?
Yes, I'm gonna put up flat myself. I'm gonna see about slapping up some So I keep parchment on, so see about slapping up some parchment, say, cook fire.
Okay.
The ship can use cook. So if they can make this, if they can make anything in this ship, I'll taste it, and with some quality ingredients, they must be actually good. That's the mentality to go with.
I imagine that Varian specialty is prison pasta. But I can't actually do because we don't have electricity.
You don't need electricity. You have magic! Okay, so you're slapping some flyers up. You still haven't decided where to go. Are you going to wait for Jute to come back, or? Well, I'm asking because now you're discussing food, and you had also talked about wanting to visit the other crime scene.
Well, true, but all the impression the characters haven't eaten.
I'm not since breakfast, probably, which is fine. I'm just trying to understand what you guys are wanting to do and how you are choosing to do it.
You're right. If we were to leave, she wouldn't know where it'd be. We should probably wait for her to come back if we're going to be looking at the other place.
Okay.
But at least if there's fires up, by the time we're through, there should be a decent cook to interview.
Possibly. Jute returns probably in another 15 minutes or so, so probably about the time Kyoki's done plastering up his hastily crafted flyers. So ask if you found anything as she starts indicating to move on to the next site.
Well, my line of questioning did not come up with much. However, Kyoki, did you find anything worth noting to Jute?
No, but hopefully you find a cook.
Well, I'm not surprised your questioning didn't turn up much. I mean, it was a while ago, and I can't imagine they would, suddenly ever remember anything now that they hadn't already forgotten by the time I got to talk to them. This next one, you guys should have a little bit more privacy. It was done up here in an alley on the north end. Given how quickly they covered it up, I don't know how thorough an investigation of the site was done, so there might be some clues there.
Okay.
If not, well, you'll just have to be resourceful. As she said, she drops you off, and then assuming you don't need her anymore, she'll return to her patrol and leave you guys be for the day.
No, I don't think we need her at the moment.
Okay, so she will go back to her duties, and if you guys need her, you can figure out how to find her again. Again, it's a pretty typical alley. Smells of discarded lab experiments and rotting carcasses from animals and stuff that probably were experimented on and then improperly dumped in dumpsters.
Now, if we inject the symbol into them, we'll have even bigger chickens, which means even bigger wings.
The place is covered in mud and mud, ash, and other filth. Otherwise, pretty typical, shady as fuck back alley. Kyoki is intimately familiar with them.
The most horrific thing in that description was that it's covered with ash.
Yep. He's there, over there.
Okay.
He exploded.
I'd like to perform a regular old investigation roll just to see if I can pick out any clues that might have been missed by people who don't give a crap.
Okay. Well then.
There are things I'm good at. This is not one of them.
Yeah. You found this kind of thick, kind of gummy, brown substance. It's everywhere. Kind of smells earthy.
You know, if I handcraft them in the spheres, I could sell for some silver.
No, I'm just... I was saying you found mud, not poop.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you didn't roll that badly. It's like, yeah.
Okay. Well, how filthy this was described, I wasn't sure.
That's like you're having a hard time, pulling out clues based on how filthy it is. But you are...
Okay.
So you're not finding anything that you believe is of note to your current investigation, but you are...
Kyoki, how about you? How are your eyes?
Should be fairly decent. I can roll that if you like. This isn't crazy. This is just investigation.
This is normal. This would be a normal investigation.
Oh, at least I know I can be 10.
Gosh.
By default, I can be 10. Okay.
Okay, on an 18. You have a bit, having had to cover up crime scenes in the past, you get the feeling, as you're making your way around and Farron's, staring at walls intently, trying to find secrets that just aren't there. And he's approaching it from the cop mind, where they're looking for places that as a self-respecting criminal, you'd never use. You get the feeling that absolutely no effort was made to clean up this area. And you're not surprised by that, because given where you are, the local rats and seagulls and stuff probably would have cleaned up any remains, that would have been left behind. So it's one of the instances of letting nature do the crime scene cleanup for you. Probably would have worked. But careful inspection, you almost, ruin them yourself with your wandering around. You do actually find very heavily faded, but still currently present, imprintings of the infamous wheel and four hoof.
Okay.
Hey, Dick Tracy, I found it.
Yes. I'll go over and take a look.
Now that it's been pointed out to you, you not only see the trademark, impression, but you can also see the point where, and this is really weird, but tracks with what you've been told. You see the wheels, then you see the four hooves, and then a few feet away from that, it transitions back into the wheels, and the tracks actually seem to proceed out of the alley as the wheels without any means of propelling. So it's just the wheels. There's no prints of like something drawing a cart or something. It's just the wheels.
Would the width of the wheels coincide with that of, say, a wheelchair versus a large cart?
Without having him present to do a perfect comparison, you're not 100% sure, but they seem too thin to be a cart, so that you're inclined to say they probably would be something at least in a similar vein to a wheelchair.
Okay.
It's definitely not especially with the size of the alley, this is definitely not like a carriage or a wagon.
Okay.
Must have got another handicap sensor murder on my case.
Could be a hoverboard, maybe, but...
No, I mean...
Or some Heelys.
He was with us, he couldn't have done this.
True, but these centaurs, very murderous lot. I know that we don't see. I know it's probably stretched. I know we don't see any like footprints. We don't also we don't see any footprints and whatnot. Are there any footprints that coincide with the carriage?
Based on your investigation roll, it is literally just the wheel tracks and those four hoof prints and and then the second set of wheel tracks.
Okay. And people have said that they saw it leaving, or if I remember correctly, did people say they saw this thing leaving?
No, nobody has actually seen. They've just found the bodies in the aftermath with the strange tracks.
I feel like we got another ghost shit on our hands. But I was like, ooh, spooky.
Could I make an Arcana roll to know if maybe there was like some kind of I don't know, semi-tangible illusion or anything like that, since no one has actually seen this individual.
Do you have like detect magic?
Yes.
Then yes, you can do the.
I'll control that as not burning mana.
Okay.
Well, at least it didn't magic in and of itself should give me something.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you are not getting the sense that there is any illusion magic that was used on the area in question. You're lucky crit fails are nothing on skill checks.
Oh, well, I legitimately rolled a 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
Based on what evidence you have found between the two of you, you do not get the vibe that this was that illusion magic was used on the scene itself, at least.
Okay.
And you don't sense any on the tracks, but it's kind of hard to tell given how long ago this in theory was. So you're not entirely sure if just there wasn't, or whether it's just so weak that you can't pick it up.
I think this would be outside of the purview of polymorph.
Since a polymorph can only do beast, you need true polymorph to do centaur.
Well, I was just thinking about the wheel thing.
Oh yeah, the wheel thing.
Because that wouldn't apply.
The only thing I could think of would be true polymorph to turn into something with wheels, like some kind of monster with wheels. But yeah, that.
Well, I believe with true polymorph you can actually do objects.
All right, well,
but that's only polymorph lets you do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a direction this was heading in?
It, at a cursory glance, without any attempts to actually make a tracking check, the tracks seem to be heading out of the alley. A 15 survival.
Oh, I rolled crap.
That is specifically for following the tracks. You have lost. You lose them roughly at the end of the alley.
Okay.
But
Okay.
You get the impression, based on that 15, since this is the first real time you've actually gotten a good look at them, as opposed to like the dust versions, that the type of track, both the wheel and the foot, do not seem to match the depth one would expect for the weight of the type of individual in theory being shown. They do not seem deep enough for either a wheelchair or a quadruped of any kind that would have hooves.
You see, this kind of stuff is still making me think it's some kind of illusion. It just stopped. Is there any indication?
Well, it's not that at the end of the alley. It's not that they stopped. It's that you have lost them in the other traffic once you have left the alley.
Okay. Can I roll again to try to pick it up?
I'll spike the difficulty a little bit for a repeated attempt, but yeah. Okay, that's much better. Again, really faded.
Really? The first time I get a critical, and that's not something that can't actually crit.
But you are able to follow it out into the street proper. And you actually catch an interesting point where, as it's coming up to the ramp of the boardwalk to come back out of the mud, the wheels seem to transition into what appears to be a heeled pair of boots, based on the fact that is even if it wasn't a critical, based on how high you rolled, you're also pretty sure they are feminine boots, judging by the shape of the toe, the size, and the near stiletto point of the heel.
So it was Jute, though. It's the guest star.
You're inclined to say it is really well made, like closer to fashion than practical type boot. Or if one was trying to have that weird awkward space where it's like, I'm trying to be fashionable, but I also need an air of practicality.
By the way, it sounds like something that a person with money would have, and not
definitely, probably a woman of money or means.
Yeah. So Jute, no, I'm just kidding.
And on that, there's also the faintest of impressions, again, right as it's coming up the ramp, and then like a spot 2 or 3 points after, where you'd almost think might be some kind of tail.
I may need to make a roll to make this jump. Rakshasha?
Not fur. This would be closer to a flesh, or possibly even a scale.
Okay.
Also, I don't think Rakshasas have tails.
Well, Rakshasas are also shapeshifters.
True.
But I didn't say right. Rakshasha. I need to make the gesture.
Yeah, this it's hard to tell based on what little mud is left because you rolled so high and because it's been trampled. But again, you're inclined to say some kind of non-fur tail.
Okay. Trying to account for the transitioning and stuff. Okay.
And these tracks go, once they actually hit the boardwalk in their new state, they go on for a ways if you wish to follow them.
Now, can I roll that?
No, that roll will allow you to continue following. I just wanted to confirm you were actually wishing to pursue.
Yes.
It seems to boardwalk for a little bit, duck into some alleys, weave for a bit. Like they're trying to. You get the impression they're trying not to be pursued.
Right.
Before coming to a. It's described in detail. 3. You come to a building in the near the center of the Alchemist Quarter, perched on a large swath of mud, almost adjacent to the Hemlock Pit. It is a 3-story stone building, roofed in slate and dotted with iron-barred windows. Its walls and roof appear to be coated with a bituminous black gruel, which is likely an accumulation of the pollution that belches from the nearby workshops.
Which is not the material.
And you, as you're making your approach, you can also make out that behind the warehouse is a gray-green pit of mud. And coming out of the back of the building is a rickety crane protruding from the far wall, its limbs long rusted and bent. Dangling from said crane is the dripping hulk of a ship some 50 yards above the mud. You can see large... the place seems to be bustling with workers who are loading and unloading large 6-wheeled freight wagons.
Into the suspended ship?
No, they seem to be taking it to the warehouse, and the ship is hanging off the back. The sign on the front is Dory's Import-Export.
So, do the two of you want to pay Dory a visit?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. I'll go in. So
you have to scroll up to the top.
So they've chosen death. It's a map, so there's going to be a fight. So they've chosen death.
There's the possibility of a fight.
Okay, but not of death. Gotcha.
Okay.
Oh, you know, it'd be fun if someone converted over a Krogan and Trish used a Krogan. That would be like some form of goblin or orc.
Okay, so 1 second, I gotta update
You said a program version, like a goblin or
No, it'd be funny if Trish like found a conversion for a Krogan and put them in here and said, "Oh yeah, they're totally like some kind of orc or troll or orc or something."
Approaching the doorway, which is open because people are coming and going, you see a big, burly obviously guard individual with studded leather, a short sword on his hip, and shouldering a rifle.
Okay.
He seems to eye you as you approach.
Does the door appear to be locked?
It's open. Again, people are coming and going. He seems to be eyeing you as you approach.
Okay. I'll attempt to walk in.
You'll kind of step in your way. Can I help you?
Yes. I believe the sign said
Dory's Import-Export.
Import-Export. Yeah. I'm here for the imports and the exports.
Don't look like the business sort.
If I did, people would be hounding me for gold.
True enough.
I do have a... Because I assume the rest of the party is not here, just like for the tokens are.
Yeah, I assume it's just the two of you and the kid.
My My bodyguard and my person running the ropes are here with me.
Eye you up and down as you make me a deception check.
Cool! Deception. I would say I'm good at that, except saying that would mess up the roll. So I am horrible at that. You hear that, roll 20. I am, yeah, you see, look how horrible I am.
That's pretty good deception.
Alright, then. You'll probably want to talk to Bursk, then.
Burst.
Bursk. Just take a step back and gesture towards a door that'll be on your right once you enter the building proper.
Bursk.
Say Miss Chumwell is the one to talk to about that kind of thing. Go to her office, and only her office. Don't need you getting underfoot.
Of course.
For the record, he's indicating over here.
Oh.
So it's on the first door on your right once you enter.
I don't know if I can actually move through that door or not.
It is unlocked, or you can knock. Hear a kind of beleaguered female voice. Enter!
I presume I'm being followed by...
The guard at the door stayed by the door, and the guard outside the office is watching you as you go in.
I'm referring to Kyoki and so.
Oh, that I don't know about.
You said so?
Are you following David?
Yeah. I'll say I'll follow. Excuse me.
I'd say David went over here. Yeah, there you go.
So I don't know what this is name. Good.
Oh, they're currently keeping their eyes on you guys. Entering this area, it appears to be a business office for the warehouse, containing filing cabinets, a work desk, and a large table, along with 2 sets of rickety bunks. The table is currently occupied by a, I guess, middle-aged human female who currently has her face scrunched in frustration, and she's, doing paperwork at the table. Like, who are you? What do you want?
From where she's sitting, can I see her feet?
Based on your position and the chairs and everything, no. But her attire is much more middle-class business than you would associate with the boot prints.
Okay.
This is clearly like, a, dock, worker who's been elevated to administration type.
I am here. I'm here to conduct some business, and I hope that you can oblige. May I have a seat?
Just give you a gesture. And she, continues not looking up and just continues writing.
Your importing and exporting business, I take it that you have fairly routine contact with the higher class.
Mr. Dory does. I don't personally. I just make sure the warehouse stays running.
Yeah. Is Mr. Dory available?
Not at the moment, but if you wish to speak to him, I can make a note to put your request in for consideration. Probably be a few days.
I would like to see a few days, the first thing in a few days. Am I picking up any sort of implication that a few days is like actually a few days regardless of what we do, or a few days, but if we freeze the pockets, then something can be done.
Insight check.
I'm terrible at this.
Am I doing too much to not overthink things by being too direct?
You, aside from order, you are doing things that the adventure expects.
Huh.
Based on that insight roll, you get the vibe that she doesn't give enough about y'all, enough of a fuck about y'all's existence to lie. Considering she hasn't even looked up at you yet from her paperwork.
Okay. Apparently, she doesn't really care very much about us.
But damn straight I don't. You're getting between me and my work.
To confirm, the tracks that we followed.
They led, towards the building. You lost them somewhere in the approach with all the carts and stuff that are coming in and out. But indications were that they went into the building.
I understand. It would be unfortunate for Mr. Dury to be implicated. So, I'm sure we can wait the few days.
Alright. Give me a name and where we can find you, and I'll pass it up the chain.
Well, she was really not give a fuck. I implied that her boss could be implicated in something. Damn, okay. It'd be unfortunate if something were to happen to your boss. Okay, yeah. What's your name? So he's like,
Like, threats go in that pile, bribes go in that pile, legitimate business goes in that pile. So yeah, name, where to find you, and and what business you're wanting to discuss. Based on the veiled implications, I'm assuming this goes into the less than legitimate.
It's technically legitimate.
legitimate for here.
Legitimate for here, got it.
Oh. As for the name, you can put down kettle. For the where, okay, I should say the docks. It's actually a fairly large dock. Given
You guys have a birthing slip that you can give.
So, okay,
or you can just get the ship name and they can find the ship name.
I don't want to make the ship a target.
Okay, then don't give them that.
That's why I was like, if I just say the docks, is it broad enough?
The docks is a large, is like 3/4 of the inner circle of the town.
I'll give the ship.
Yeah, okay.
So they now know to come find you at the Sea Ghost, and anything goes down is associated with the Sea Ghost. Got it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Bond, James Bond.
Yep.
Alright. Kettle, Sea Ghost, probably, legitimate, air quote, got it. Anything else?
Sounds good to me. Thank you. I believe that we saw something useful in this stuff. How's it about we go and mingle?
As long as you're not mingling with my workers during business hours.
Okay.
Yes, the last thing we would want is for her to stand up.
Damn straight. And I'm legally required to warn you. Our guards are required to give you one warning before taking other measures should you impede business.
Sounds like fun. We will do our best to make sure we don't impede business.
Enjoy your numbers.
I will say I'm actually incredibly surprised that someone said legally something.
I don't know I don't care about what happens outside the building in regards to the business. As far as I'm concerned, I make sure this warehouse does everything by the book. What happens outside the warehouse is not my problem.
Good to know.
If you have, concerns about the legitimacy of said business, again, that those concerns would apply to anything outside this building.
No. I consider myself. I've met a fair amount of business people, and the fact that you can't even be bothered to look at us is exactly how much you should.
Glad we understand each other.
Alright.
Now, if that's all, get the fuck out. Somebody will be along in a few days, probably, to set up a meeting.
Certainly.
So, you should leave.
Yes. Bonus hour.
So you're back on the warehouse floor, where you see again numerous people moving crates onto wagons, off of wagons, turning cranks to send the wagons up to the upper floor, or send the crates up to the upper floors.
Let's see. She said we can move on without interfering with operations. I want to move over here.
Guards are still keeping an eye on you both.
Hey, anything new pop up? I mean, I see there are staircases, but I'm trying to think of...
I'd say you in theory see what you see right now.
Okay.
So the interior of the warehouse is piled high with crates, boxes, and packages, most marked with alchemist personal symbols or fragile and handled with care labels. There's a mechanical lift on the south wall to the east, with two iron spiral staircases rising from the northeast and southwest corners. Other than that, you see the winch used to operate the lift, currently being manned by a Goliath and a big half-orc. The room is bustling with 11 people, at the moment 11 workers, not counting guards, unloading and unloading the shipments and other products.
I'm trying to think what the connection would be. I mean, I know the trail likely led in here. And I mean, Dory is the only obvious person, since what's-her-face wouldn't have any help. Yep, myself is balls, so I can't do that. What's Gyoki doing?
Gyoki is just looking around, kind of scoping people out, checking the I'm kind of like checking the area to see like what could like any of these areas that they could fit or possibly hide whatever sort of chair or whatever they came in here with.
There are countless crates that probably would be large enough to hide a wheelchair if they were so inclined.
Which case, since they've been doing this season now, I would like to look at the floors. I would like to look at the floors, see if there's any sort of like, usually if you continually roll wheelchairs or something like that, else the floor, maybe each floor kind of has like a bit more of a, not something like a very minor dimensional like indentation or anything. Or like some sort of like wheel markings. Yeah.
So
I'd like to see if there's a pattern of wheel markings.
I'm gonna put that under either investigation or survival.
See. Fairly certain I'm bad at both. Oh wait, I'm gonna survival. You said investigation or survival?
Investigation or survival.
I mean, investigation.
As an investigation can't be that bad. You have a passive of 18.
Good. Investigation. Don't.
Oh, okay. I saw the 13. I'm like, what?
You do make out several, quote, wear marks. They're, closer to like scuffs than they are wear marks. But you can make out several. But they seem to be more akin to the heavy more likely attached to the heavy wagons that have been brought through here than the wheelchair you're looking for.
Oh, okay.
For want of a better term, the tread is too wide.
Okay. I would like to use object of my attention, so I can get a +1 bonus to further test to examine and see the additional aspects of the object of your test until the time of movement changes.
Okay.
So, I have an additional 3 left. Let's see. I'm trying to think of a way I can use that lessons wonder. I would like to try and make a perception check to see if the lift is actually large enough to carry something like that to the second floor. I'm not saying if there are any tracks heading towards where the lift exists.
The tracks that you have noticed so far do not go deep enough to actually attach to the lift proper.
Okay.
The hole for the lift. As I say, the opening for the lift, because the lift is currently in use, is 20 by 20. So presumably the lift would also be, in the neighborhood of 20 by 20. Ergo, definitely big enough to fit a chair or a wagon or any number of things. And if you're dealing with the tracks in the lift, you would be over here.
Okay. Is it possible to look for the, for lack of a term, woman's tracks inside the warehouse itself?
You can attempt a survival check if you would like, to see if you can pick them back up again, because you lost them before entering. You can make out women's tracks in here, but not the tracks you were following. These are probably closer to like a heavier work boot.
Okay. Okay, that must be the other character. I don't have that spell. So the characters. Okay. That's an amazing clue. And trying to narrow it down to females with scaly tails. As I think you can do stuff like that with it.
It highlights the different things, but you'd still have to find the scaly tail.
Oh, okay. I thought you could like specify.
I don't believe so. No.
Okay.
So using it in here would be a nightmare with all the people that have been in here. I want to say all it does is like highlight the different like hand and footprints that are in the room and separates them by person.
Okay. Okay, at the moment I'm thinking unless we want to possibly start a fight, maybe investigating outside again.
That sounds like a good idea.
Okay, you are able to make your way back outside without causing any trouble.
Fuck you, fuck you! Oh shit, I can't go through the door. Let's see what he's doing here.
You should be able to go out the door. It's not a blocked. I got rid of the blocking.
Okay, if I use my arrows, I can do it.
Okay. See, you're back outside where the traffic is.
Somebody grab your kid.
Oh shit! I was just see if I could pick up the trail again. I guess I can.
You can backtrack and pick it up at the point you lost it, but again, you can't follow it into the building or around the building. You just get to the point where it got swallowed up by the currently ongoing traffic.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I could like roll high enough to distinguish stuff. Okay.
Well, technically, that's a lower roll than what you used to find it / lose it the first time.
By one.
I'm not disputing it. I'm just based on what you rolled and what you understand of how tracks work. It has been the trail has been swallowed up by the day-to-day travel that is that normally happens with the chaos in front of this building.
Usually we'd also ask around about lizard folks. It went from cart to wheelchair-esque to
No, it went from wheelchair, hooves, wheelchair.
But then she went into like these feminine boots.
And then turned into feminine boots when it came back to the boardwalk, yeah.
And is that also when the reptilian tail was...
Yeah, when the boots showed up, the tail was, there was like... Kind of like, when it was coming up the boardwalk, the tail hit the mud right before.
Well, I'm just trying to determine, like, what form has what associated with it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay. So I guess we'd ask around about a lizard folk. Oh, that's not a great roll. It's an average roll.
Who are you talking to?
The exterior workers.
Okay. Talking to the workers does not yield much. Most of them feel they don't have the time to talk to you because they're busy working and they don't want to get in trouble with their bosses or cause trouble by talking about either the the current establishment and or any gossiping.
Okay.
So it's like they're polite enough, but it really is the I can't talk right now. I gotta.
Okay.
You do get the feeling that, based on their reactions and stuff, that Mr. Dory is probably on the more ruthless side, when it comes to his business practices,
Okay.
based on how they're reacting to you trying to get between them and affecting his business. You get the general general sense that it's a mix of fear and respect, though some people also enjoy poking fun at it. But in general, it's like you're getting the vibe that they don't want to get Mr. Dory angry with them by affecting his business, so they can't talk to you right now.
Well, that makes sense. Okay.
Because bad stuff happens to those who get him angry.
Yeah.
Again, Jeff Bezos isn't playing out.
Any sense that I know it's looted in this place, but any sense that the workers are being like, I understand wage slave, but are they literally being? Is there any indication that they're being like kept working overnight or like whipped for non-compliance?
Okay. Based on your passive investigations, your observations do not seem to indicate that if they are being abused, it's more of an emotional than a physical.
Okay.
Which, from what you've heard, you would probably intuit to mean he doesn't want to physically abuse them, because if he physically abuses them, it affects their productivity.
Okay.
Because, if you whip them, they can't lift as much.
True.
But they can intimidate them with, like, meaningful glares from the guards and that kind of stuff.
True, but not everyone gives a crap about that, but true.
Nobody, from what you can tell, looking at the workers, they don't seem to be operating in a manner that would indicate overworked, so much as just heavily worked by having to lift heavy shit.
Okay.
And between that and the impression you got of the lady running the place, it does seem like they're trying to adhere to Republic, labor standards.
Walking around, is the entire building surrounded by workers and or security?
You have the people coming and going from the warehouse, and the security keeping an eye on the people from the warehouse. But like the yard mud pit behind the place, has a guy, has a couple guards watching the loading dock equivalent, but there's not really anything going on back there.
Okay.
Just the huge ass crane, and a couple of guys basically keeping an eye out to make sure somebody doesn't get slick and try to sneak in the back to steal some crates.
Okay. So how about we sneak in the back?
And as I recall, I do believe the building was described as having barred windows. Yeah, 3-story stone building, iron barred windows, yeah. So you've got the large entrance in the front and, kind of a... It's not even so much of a service entrance, it's just, kind of a back door. That's closer to like a sliding wall. But most of the activity seems to be in the front.
Okay. Kyoki, do you have any thoughts? If we go in, if we go in for Mr. Dory, it essentially would just be hearsay and suspicion, and well, possibly breaking and entering to get information / immune.
So Zan talks to them. Might kind of be forced to do the whole waiting thing. Yeah, wait for the guy. We'll see if she specifically said, "Don't talk to my workers. Don't talk to my workers." By the 1 o'clock. Next best thing I can think of is to try to catch them during the day. So I'm thinking that we might be able to convince the people of this factory to meet up with us after work and we can talk to them.
Okay.
That's it, because I remember the only thing she said was to talk to my work and go to work. So I suppose I'll follow up and tell you.
Supposed to do what?
Yeah, so I guess I'll follow the mentality of we wait for her employees' work shifts to end and then we can contact them. She said don't bother the employees, so we'll wait until the work shift is over and that way we can talk to the employees. Because she said she doesn't care about what happens outside of here. And that's my idea. Is wait for a shift to end. Do you have a better idea?
Not at the moment. No. Yeah, not at the moment. Part of it is that I don't want to, again, don't want to necessarily barge in with accusations without any kind of backup. Given the time, should we hold off on this till next time to kind of...
If you want to stop, I was going to stop shortly, but if you want to stop here, we can, and you know, so you can think about it and maybe have the rest of the party show up next time to actually help you make a plan.
Yeah, does that sound good to you, Brian?
Honestly, I feel a little stuck at the moment.
I will remind you guys, you do still have one other lead to check out.
The asylum, that's right.
Yeah, so you guys never checked the asylum.
Well, so I thought we were going to exhaust this and then head over to the asylum, but then at the same time we had another areas, you know, an option. So, okay. We can try this. We can try the asylum. We can try the asylum this time at least. Unless you want to try to run over there, and unless you want to try to run over there first.
I think, you know, asylum probably should wait till next session.
Yeah.
I tell you right now, you guys are not as lost as you think you are. You are on track.
Oh, I figure what was at least holding me back is the fact that, you know, these guys are not overtly hooligans, so the character doesn't necessarily want to just kick down the door.
Yeah, yeah.
And I realized that that kind of mentality could be holding it back.
Maybe, maybe not.
So once someone gives off the impression that that's what they're about, then yeah, I'm totally going to go along with that. But at the moment, it just kind of seems like
It's like, they're sketchy, but everything here is sketchy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no one's acting unreasonable. And that's the biggest thing, is that no one's acting unreasonable. Cool. I feel like we're well on pace.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that we've made progress, not necessarily like leaps and bounds, but we made progress.
Yeah, you made reasonable progress for a session.
Yeah.
I was like, you guys didn't really grind to a halt till the very end here.
Yeah, at least me and Brian just stopped working. I was like, I feel like I'm missing something, and I was like,
I know those tracks seem to have thrown you for a loop, at least David.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, it's completely sad enough that I can't really follow it. I get that. I get that. I wasn't sure if it was just if it was just I'm not looking at it good enough, or just the terrain's just too messed up.
By all rights, once you got close to the warehouse, you should not have been able to find them at all due to the amount of traffic coming out of the warehouse. But you rolled well enough. You're like, okay, it looks like they're going either towards or into the warehouse, and then I lose them in traffic.
Okay. Because I kind of feel like I feel like there's a question that I'm not asking.
It's kind of hard to find a specific person's tracks when there's hundreds of people coming and going in the same spot the tracks went through. Yeah, you aside from what what you would or would not get at the asylum, you have all the relevant information for the path you have taken up to this point.
Right.
Well, so far seemed pretty good. So, you said we could check out the asylum while we're waiting for people to get off work.
If we're gonna check out the asylum, I'm gonna put Sarah back on the boat.
She doesn't want to go on the. She doesn't want to go see the asylum.
No, I don't. I don't want her to see the mess up things that would be in an asylum. There's a difference.
Hey, robbing the police, okay. Seeing an asylum, no.
Well, I mean, because in my mind, it's like we could be dealing with a Joker, Harley Quinn kind of shit.
It's entirely possible.
So, and it's like
I follow the logic. We'll see how well you actually succeed, but
I'm sure that she'll get to wherever she wants to be whenever she wants to be there. So,
well, I mean, the dice still have to back it up. She can't just do. Despite the Jade Chan joke, she does still have to roll for it.
Thank you. This is I'm enjoying how this session, and this map and everything is going so far.
I'm enjoying the fact that we have not been completely stumped. We've muddled a little bit, but outside of this last part, that I appreciate the fact that we've been able to at least weave our way through things.
Yeah. As you are getting to where you need to go.
No complete failures. Look at this.
And the fact that you're doing it while down 2/3 of the party does not seem to be slowing you down that much.
Well, I'm thinking between Kyoki and myself, we have like 2/3 of the required social set in terms of skills.
I'm just going to be like, I'm just going to find it hilarious because they're going to come back the second the fighting starts. They're going to miss like 3-4 sessions of mystery solving, and then they're going to come back just in time for the whatever. It's like, no, it's been a long time since we had combat, actually.
We had a pathetic person.
I feel like you can feel the intuition level.
Me? Oh, no, I have like I should start opening it.
Yeah, neither one of you are good at insight.
Yeah. So I know things.
But you are both, between the two of you, you are reasonably good at investigation, though. So that's So you're at least finding clues, even if you're not necessarily sure who's lying to you.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll get my +8 investigation. So,
mine's +5 only if I'm talking to people. It's +2 otherwise.
So good at persuasion, good at deception. Persuasion, deception, and let's see, persuasion, deception, and intimidation. Insight's kind of garbage. Comparatively, anyway. Which case, I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed, so I can get to work tomorrow. Oh, there's a thing apparently. I'll send it in our chat. But apparently, there's some sort of thing where you might have unclaimed money that the government's been holding on to. That's just been kind of sitting there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's like City of Richmond. Like City of Richmond apparently has like some sort of thing where they're like, oh hey, at some point you probably have money that belongs to something or other. It's like this really weird system where apparently the government was supposed to pay you money for something, depending on the person. You might have something, you might not. Like, I have, I'll say, estimated between $1 and $50. Because somewhere between $1 and $50 is like and City of Richmond has a website. You basically just fill out a form. When I say City of Richmond website, just have you fill out a form, you give them you send them a copy of your ID, last 4 digits of your social security, and a piece of mail that proves that you live where you live. And you just fill out the form and you upload the document and you send it to them on their website, and they'll send you an email back saying, hey, well, okay, these are the paperwork or documents that we have here, and it says that you have tax returns for this, or you have this, or you have an item that was left behind that the city claimed, and it's worth X amount of money, so we'll just do money for it. So basically, the city's treasurer just has a whole bunch of bullshit that's laying around there, and they're trying to get rid of it. So kind of something they're trying to get word out for. Melissa told me about it, and she filled out hers, and she also filled out mine as well and sent it to me. So she has somewhere between $200 and $300 of stuff she's supposed to be getting that. I've got somewhere between $1 to $50. Apparently back when she was working in Gymboree or tennis footwear or something like that, it was like, oh yeah, good. And we just had to kind of hold on to it this whole time. So I'll send it to you guys so that you guys can take a look at it, and I figured it's worth a shot to see if even if it's just a few extra bucks, that it's worth the 10 minutes of work. I'll say 10 minutes of form filling out that you can do in order to get somewhere close to around 50 or more. Right. Well, I'll put that in the show. So you guys can choose whether you want to try and do it or not. So.
Alright, thank you.
In which case, I'll say, sure. If you can, I'll say you should also be able to do it, and probably also fill it out for you all as well, and see if they have anything that belongs to her as well. Because I think the city is dating back to up to 50 years back. Alright. Cool. You all be safe. And I will talk to you guys soon.
Will do.
Yep, see ya.
Yep.
Alright.